Well, welcome to the Park City Market Talk webinar, where you get the latest news about what's been happening in the Park City real estate market. Glad you're here to join us. I'm Ron Wilstein, the broker at Keller Williams here in Park City.
And I'm Jeremy Wilstein, the buyer consultant for the Wilstein team. And we're here to share with you what's been happening in the world of Park City real estate.
And of course, if you haven't been watching the news, you know what's been happening. The Sundance Film Festival was here last month. Lots of celebrities, tremendous films, lots of fun. Did you catch any films while you were there?
I didn't catch any films. Went to a couple different parties and events and concerts, and it was a lot of fun.
That's right. Well, and my niece was here. She had a good time. So always a fun time. If you haven't joined us in the past for Sundance, throw it on your calendar for next year. Then last week, Deer Valley hosted the World Cup Freestyle Championships. Those guys are crazy. Look at the pictures on that. Upside down in every position imaginable. Pretty wild.
Yeah, I went up to the moguls and the aerials, and it was a great time, great showing, a lot of fun up there. And then we also want to mention that we are broadcasting this evening from our offices near the canyons. And as you know, we bring these presentations to you live second Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. We're doing this at 6 p.m. this week because of the state of the union address.
Yep. Now we present our Market Talk webinars to keep you informed about any changes happening in the Park City market, and we've got a lot to talk about tonight. We also want to answer any questions that you may have if we don't turn up covering a topic that is of interest to you. So don't hesitate to contact us if there are some topics that we don't address here.
All right.
Let's take a look at our topics for this evening.
So we're going to begin by looking back over the last 12 months to see what's been selling in Park City and where property values are going.
Then we want to tell you about our brand new website that we launched just recently, in fact, about 2 days ago. We're very excited about the improvements.
And then we're also going to quickly share with you about the Quick Start program, which allows you to ski and snowboard for free the day of your arrival.
And then we'll share with you some recent stories that both Jeremy and I have had as we've represented buyers and sellers alike regarding multiple offers. So I think you'll find that symptomatic of, or indicator rather, of what the market's doing.
And our last topic of the evening, we'll discuss the fact that the Park City real estate market is definitely shifting and dramatically shifting, and we want you to know about the details of this change.
And before we get to that, we want to remind you that you can always go back and watch past webinars that we've presented. We've covered a variety of topics on frequently asked questions, and you can watch them anytime. This is a little different than in the past, the pathway, because of our new website. You can go to thewilsteinteam.com/webinars, and that's all lowercase, webinars.php. So our links right now are all set up with this .php behind it, but feel free to go there and you have direct access to all of our past webinars. They're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so with that in mind, let's hop right into our topic. Let's take a look at past sales.
The information we're going to share with you covers closed sales over the past 12 months from February 1st, 2012 through January 31st, 2013. Then we're going to compare these sales against the same time period the year before. So the total number of homes, condominiums, and vacant land sold during the past 12 months is up 14%, or 147 sales, from the total number of sales during the same time period the year before. There were 1,233 sales in Park City over the past year compared to 1,086 the year before.
All right, so that's an impressive increase. Now let's take a look at it and break it down by different category of property. 518 homes sold this past 12 months compared to 462 the year before. So that's 56 more sales, an increase of 12%. Condominiums were up by 17%. With 546 sales this past year compared to 468 the year before, so up by 78 sales. Lot sales were also up by 13 sales, or 8%, rose from 156 sales to 169. That's impressive. We report on this every month, and until just this past month, looking back 12-month period, our lots were down, not by much, but now they're moving up. So every segment of our market's moving up. That's great news.
Yep. So now we'll take a more closely look at what's sold. Home sales in Park City up 12% from the year before with 176 sales. during the past 12 months compared to 155 the year before. Home sales there were also up in Snyderville Basin, 342 sales during the past year compared to 320 the year before. So that's an increase of 37 sales or 12%.
Condominium sales rose by 23% within the Park City limits, with 326 closed sales within this past year compared to 266 year before. So 60 sales more in the city limits. In the Snyderville Basin, what we regard as Park City County area, if you will, it rose by 9% or 18 sales from 202 sales up, as you can see on the graph, to 220 sales during the past 12 months.
And finally, vacant land sales, they were mixed with them rising in the Park City limits and actually falling in the Park City County area, or also known as the Snyderville Basin. Within the Park City limits, lot sales rose by 28 sales, with 52 sales this past year compared to only 24 the year before, so that's up 117%. Lot sales, however, fell in the county area with 15 fewer sales during the past 12 months compared to the year before. This past year, we saw 117 sales in the Snyderville Basin compared to 132 the year before. So that amounts to about 11% decline year over year.
So all in all, we're continuing to see the number of sales increasing each month, and that's very positive. Jeremy, let's take a look at prices. Property values are mixed really in all three categories, homes, condominiums, and lots. When we look at home prices, they're up by 13% within the city limits. The median home price rose during the past year from $1 million up to $1,100,000. It was at $975,000 the previous year. Property values, however, fell slightly in the Snyderville Basin, only by 1%, from $643,750 to $635,000. So not a big sale. One transaction can account for that. But we report whatever the data is, so here it is.
And then condo prices, they were also mixed, falling within the city area and rising in the county area. So median prices for condos within the Park City limits fell by $17,696 or 4%, from $497,696 to $480,000 during the past year. Condo prices rose by 5% in the Snyderville Basin, rising from $258,000 the year before to $269,950 this past year. And land values rose in the city and the county areas. Median prices for vacant land in Park City was $510,000, up 13% from $452,500 the year before. And lot sales in the Snyderville Basin rose by 51% over the previous year. They climbed up by $84,500 from $165,000 to $249,500, which is a huge increase.
That's big news for sure. Yeah. All right. Well, that's what the market is doing in terms of stats, and as you know, we always like to keep you informed of those details. We also want to remind you, since we're still well into the ski season, about the Park City Quick Start program, which allows out-of-town guests to ski or snowboard for free the first day of their vacation in Park City.
Yeah, and how the program works, you actually catch a morning flight from your home city, and upon your arrival here in Utah, you make your way up to Park City. You then take your airline boarding pass along with a special Quick Start vacation voucher along with your photo ID to the ticket window at any Park City's 3 ski resorts, and they will give you a free lift ticket at that resort for that day. It's good at the Deer Valley, Canyons, and Park City Mountain Resort.
Now, there are some blackout dates. They run through February 15th. Of course, we're February 12th right now, so you got 3 days. And then there's going to be the blackout for the rest of February, then into March. So you've got a couple days here to ski for free, and then the blackout dates kick in. Then April is wide open for free skiing and snowboarding.
So to get your voucher, you go to BuyParkCity.com, and you can register for the program there, and they'll automatically email you the required voucher. So make sure to do this if you leave before, if you're coming out here in the next couple of days, or you're coming out after April 1st.
All right. Well, here's, Jeremy, what I'm really excited about, and that's our new website. So Best way for us to show it to you is to do just that. We're going to show it to you here, but we just want you to know the address, BuyParkCity.com. You can also get there by going to the WilsteinTeam.com. This is going to replace our still current but soon to be phased out run Wilstein.com. A lot more technology and good stuff here. So let's just take a moment to introduce you to the site here. This is the cover of it, BuyParkCityRealEstate.com. And we've got property searches, information about buying, good things for you to know before you buy. Under the selling tab, good things for you to know before you sell. Market information, similar stats that we cover here in our webinar, as well as additional information we don't have time to cover, communities, and then a lot of details about us. What I'd like to do is just show you a little bit about the searching features on this website, and because this is kind of what we're most proud of. And you can click on Find Listings, where there's a number of different ways, and it displays automatically 3 listings. And let me just type in a little bit here. Under the location, I'm going to pick Jeremy Ranch as an example, and you choose your price range, and let's just pick from 500,000 to, let's say, $1.5 million. So we got a $1 million spread there. All properties. You could narrow this down to homes or to condos or to land or whatever you're interested in. But we'll keep it all properties, and let's say we want to find homes or properties with at least 4 bedrooms. What's so beautiful about this website is you click the word search right there, and it's there, and it's there instantly. And you notice we got a wonderful aerial photograph from a satellite above with all the streets on there. You can click and go to a map if you prefer to look at it that way. And you see properties highlighted, and you can go to any one of them, and it highlights the property, and you can click and view details, all really, really fast. So that's very impressive to look at. Once you go to the properties, and we'll just stay on this one since we're here, you're looking at a rotation of beautiful pictures of the home, and you can inquire about the property to get details. You can request a showing. You can add this to your list of favorites because the website actually keeps track of those for you. You could even print a copy of this. But what's so powerful about our search engine on our brand new site is you can look at properties not only on the inside but on the outside. For instance, if I go up to this bird's eye view tab here and you click on it, what you do is you have a bird's eye view of the property. You're looking at it from an angle here as if you're flying in. You can actually zoom in if you want here, and you can see right there, there's a little tag as to where the property is. You can even rotate around on your flight and see it from a different angle. So really, really nice features that you have here. And also, if maybe you're seeing it from above, you have the ability to look at it from an aerial satellite view, a slightly different angle, and of course can zoom out if you want to see it around the whole neighborhood. Or you can go back to the property again and get a street view. And so here we are, we're in front of the property, and see what's happening to the left. You just look to the left and see. What's happening to the right, you look to the right and see. You want to spin around and see what your view is as you continue to go around. There's your view across the street. So this is very, very powerful, and you can search not only our listings but all the listings in this way. So we're really quite proud about this new website. We've set up easy ways for you to search. You could search for horse properties, bank-owned properties, recently listed properties. You click on this and you're going to be the first to know about properties that come on the market. And that's always nice to be the first to know. Anyway, I won't take any more of our time here, but you get a little bit of a glimpse as to what this website is all about, and we're certainly proud about that. All right. You got a hand up.
So then if you do have a question, just go ahead and type it in the Q&A box, and we can answer that for you. All right.
Okay, so let's kind of move along here and talk about the market. And we're just going to take a little bit of time to talk about some recent experiences with multiple offers that we've had. And the reason we want to talk about this is, of course, we're dealing with this day in and day out, but you're not necessarily aware of that. And we are finding in more and more negotiations that either we're presenting offers or receiving multiple offers. clearly a sign of the change of the market. So, Jeremy, what are some experiences you've had recently?
Most of the transactions involved on the buyer side, there is multiple offers on the property. Kind of highlight one. I don't know if you're familiar with Powderwood, but there was an offer submitted on Powderwood unit, a bank-owned unit, listed at $108,000. And when all was said and done, there were 16 offers on the property, and all cash offer above $115,000 still didn't get the property. So that property is still gonna. We're waiting for it to close, but you know it might have gone 10% above list price with 16 offers, which is staggering, especially in our marketplace.
That's right. And on the list side, I've been marketing a property in the Pine Brook area. Beautiful property, like all properties. There are certain buyers that it works for, others that it doesn't. And we received offers and eventually put together a transaction, or as we got very close to putting together a transaction, we were a couple of steps into the counteroffer phase. Along came another offer, and that buyer came in full price. And then there was an offer after that was significantly over full price in a backup position, just because they were interested in acquiring this property. And so we don't see that enough happening, but we just wanted to let you know we're facing that. It creates a new series of kind of complex situations for both buyers and sellers to face when they're negotiating with other parties, either to buy or to sell a property. Now that leads to our last topic for the evening. And for those of you who have been following our Market Top webinars for some time now, know that we've been talking about our marketplace being a buyer's market for many years now. And it, of course, started with the mortgage crisis and the collapse of the U.S. economy. Mortgage financing dried up and investors' confidence shrunk to new low levels as that uncertainty loomed for quite some time. Now it's changing a bit.
So in the recent years, our economy, it has improved. Real estate prices, for the most part, they found their bottom probably in 2009 across the country, and financing has started to loosen up. While there are still many problems in each of these areas, unemployment figures have dropped, and overall things are beginning to improve. As far as Utah is concerned, our economy, it has been rather strong through the crisis. We do have a balanced budget, along with a surplus in the state treasury, and Park City's economy is strong. And now our real estate market is shifting from a buyer's market with more properties for sale than there are buyers interested in purchasing them to a balanced market where there's a similar number of buyers and properties for sale.
Now this move toward a balanced or neutral market is really due to two major factors. One, the decline in the number of properly priced properties for sale, and secondly, an increase in the number of people wanting to buy properties in Park City. For many years, buyers and investors had many properties to choose from, and now the inventory really has shrunk quite a bit. We're now at the lowest level of properties for sale in the multiple listing service since the height of the market back in 2005, when property values were high and where multiple offers were common. Well, we're not at high property prices yet, but now the multiple offers, as we've reported, are becoming more and more common. Now, while it is clear that our inventory of listed properties is very low right now, buyers are not senselessly writing offers on every property that's on the market. And I need to make a distinction here for you between those properties that are properly priced, which are selling within a reasonable period of time, and those that are overpriced, which are not selling at all. Unfortunately, many of the properties that are on the market are overpriced, and often not by a little, but rather by a lot. Our market has proven time and time again that sellers can list their properties above the fair market value by 8 or 9%, certainly no more than 10%, and it can sell, although usually it takes longer than a property that's priced closer to its fair market value. On average, properly priced properties in Park City sell usually at 4 to 6% below their list price.
And if a property is listed more than 10% above its fair market value, it's virtually guaranteed it's not going to sell. Buyers don't even bother to take the time to look at these properties in person. And Today's buyers, they're really well informed about property values, and they look at properties all day long over the internet. When they see a property that's overpriced, they usually just move on to the next property. They don't bother wasting their time to look at them in person. Probably not going to call me up to look at them if they know it's overpriced, and they rule them out long before they get to town to inspect the property. So, we want to return to our scales. A buyer's market is one where there are more properties for sale than there are purchasers interested in buying them. So this does favor the buyers who have a large selection of properties to choose from, and the sellers have to compete against each other to sell their property. Buyers can often get great deals at low prices in a buyer's market, and many buyers and investors cash in on the buyer's favored market in the recent years.
Now, let's take a look at the inventory of properties for sale. When you realize that it's smaller like it is, and the average length of time that it now takes for a property to sell, which is between 4 to 6 months, that is what we regard as as a balanced market with correctly priced properties. So the balance is between the number of buyers out there looking for properties and the number of properties for sale. Nationally, the National Association of Realtors says 4 to 6 month inventory represents a balanced market between buyers and sellers, and that's pretty much what we're seeing in many instances. Not all, because we have unique pockets here in Park City. We have unique circumstances with ski properties that are particularly popular during the ski season, maybe less so during the winter. But nevertheless, we're seeing the inventory of properly priced properties shrinking and being bought sometimes with multiple offers. Now, as that inventory of properly priced properties declines further, the scales will tip and they'll start to favor sellers and prices will rise. Now, this is certainly our future as far as we're concerned when we look at Park City and Deer Valley real estate. The increase in values will happen in certain select areas initially and eventually become widespread. And since we report on this every single month, we can see this, and we do this because you can see the nuances of the changes and the increases, and that certain condo properties become very popular, others are maybe a little slower in terms of popularity. But when you can see that, then you can spot the hot deals and you can act quickly on it. While we definitely expect to see prices increase, it's not expected to be excessive double-digit appreciation like we saw in the past, because the U.S. economy and the national real estate environment would dampen any wild, uncontrolled appreciation. But this is our future. This is what we expect to happen before. And while in about an hour from now, President Obama is going to do his State of the Union, just like we're doing our Park City State of the Union. And he's going to kind of set the framework and the image of the economy and where we're going, and I think it will coincide with what we've covered here. Mm-hmm. Well, this brings us to the end of another Park City Market Talk webinar, Jeremy. Glad you made it. Glad all of you will watch it. So what about questions? It's always our practice to offer the opportunity for you to ask questions. And all you have to do is use the Q&A box just below our picture on the screen and write in your questions, and we'll do our best to answer them.
And as always, we want to remind you, you can always go back and rewatch this evening's webinar or any of our past webinars by simply going to our new address, thewilstein.com/webinars.php. We have a host of webinars there on a variety of different topics, so please check them out. And our latest issue of our Park City Link newsletter is at the printers as we speak, and it will be mailed out later this week. If you're not on our mailing list, or just don't know if you're on our mailing list and would like to receive a copy of our newsletter, send us an email quickly with your name and address, and we'll put one in the mail for you and make sure you're on the mailing list for future issues.
And if you're considering selling your property, either now or in the future, we'd like to send you our latest issue of the Smart Seller magazine. It will provide you with valuable information to help you sell your property faster and for more money than traditional approaches used. So to receive a copy of that Smart Seller magazine, just send us a quick email with your address, and we will drop that in the mail to you as well. With that in mind, let's begin. Let's take a look at our questions here. Let's see. Now that we are in a balanced market and hopefully moving toward a seller's market, how much do you anticipate prices will rise in the next year or two? You have thoughts on that?
I'm gonna let you take that one.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I do expect that they will rise, and as I mentioned earlier, I don't expect them necessarily to be double-digit increases, although in certain segments of the market we will see that, and even as we report overall in the market, sometimes we see that. I don't think you should plan that way, be pleasantly surprised, but it's definitely going up. The thing that will cause it to not increase like it did in the past is we don't have that easy to find unlimited financing that was once available. People need to either pay cash, and 52% of all of our sales in Park City are all cash transactions. So plenty of people are paying cash, or you have to get financing. If you're looking at a condominium as an example, and it has a front desk check-in and some other elements, it's a little harder to get conventional financing, or you can, and you have to get some non-conventional. And so that will limit the number of sales, but I do think it will go up, and I think if the property that you're inquiring about has gone down a lot, it will probably bounce and rebound higher than those that have gone down more gradually. They tend to increase a little more gradually. So what's my number? I guess I'm comfortable saying 4 or 5%, and there will be some segments that will be higher for sure. Let's see.
If you're selling a property and you receive multiple offers, what's the best way to negotiate?
Okay.
A lot of seller questions. So.
Yeah, there are seller questions. Well, this depends on what the offers look like. First of all, it's great to have more than one offer, and it's great to have 5 or 10 if you can get that. We always think about price as being one of the key elements, and it is an important one, but it isn't always the most important one. If a seller is in a situation where they want to sell quickly, sometimes they'll take a lower price if the deal is fast. We had that with a different multiple offer scenario about 2 weeks ago, where the buyer we were representing offered a cash closing in 2 weeks, and the seller took less money on a faster close. So sometimes they'll take less money if the terms are better. Cash is preferred over financing, so if you were competing and you had a cash offer, you probably have a leg up on the party that has a loan that's involved in the transaction. Price, of course, is important, but the strategies will vary depending on what the offer looks like. By and large, if the offers are relatively the same, one choice a seller has is they can go back to all the parties who have made an offer and they can say, come back with your highest, best offer, and then we'll look at that and make a decision. That's commonly done. It's sort of the let's give everybody a fair chance to do it. Now, some buyers don't like to be in multiple offer situations. They don't like to negotiate under those circumstances. So it can be risky for a seller to do it. Or a seller can look at the best offer and simply accept that, or even counter that one and just keep the other offers at bay a little bit while they try to do it. So there's really a number of different ways to do it. Depends on your situation, depends on the strength of the offer. But if we see a nice cash offer and it's in the right ballpark price-wise, that's preferred, although sometimes the cash comes with the low ones. Anyway, if there's any other questions, jot them down, and if not, we will wrap up for tonight.
All right. Well,
if you have any questions afterwards, feel free to contact myself or Jeremy or Ed. Our email addresses are on the screen, so are the phone numbers, and we're here to help you with any questions that you have, and in any way, of course, that we can.
And so our next Park City Market Talk webinar will be Tuesday, March 12th at 7 p.m., the regular time, Mountain Time, of course, and we hope everybody joins us again. And like Ron said, if you have any questions,